My name is Silvia Helmreich. I'm the program director of this master program of Quantitative Asset and Risk Management. And let's start with the program, with the content of the program. So I'd like to give you an overview of the program. So as I mentioned already, it's a master's program. It's primarily about finance and risk management. And what's also important, so in the name is quantitative. That means there's a lot of mathematics and statistics around. At the end of the ARIMA is an abbreviation, so I will sometimes use ARIMA, not Quantitative Asset and Risk Management, so ARIMA is the abbreviation. So ARIMA graduates are awarded the academic title of Master of Arts in Business, so with the abbreviation MA. You have several double degree options, so we will cover that later on. There is a short-term mobility in the fourth semester, so that's mandatory. We will talk about that in detail later on. And I'd also like to mention when you are a graduate of the ARIMA program, then you also have some PhD options in the program. Yes, it lasts 4 semesters. It's taught in English and it's a part-time program. That means it is for primarily for working students because we offer the program in the evening, but it does not mean that you have to work, but you can work, and part-time means, yes, we offer it in the evening so that working students have the possibility to participate in the program. And it's a quite small program, so we have each year we have 25 study places. What's the structure of ARIMA? So what can you expect in the different semesters? So in the first and in the second semester, you have mandatory lectures, and you get to know fundamental and theoretical knowledge. And the third semester is also mandatory lectures, but it's not so theoretical anymore. It's more application oriented. That means you should apply what you have learned in the first year. And in this semester, we primarily are teaching with case studies. In the fourth semester, there's only one course left. This is the short-term mobility for 2 weeks. So you are going to one of our partner universities. And yes, I mentioned it's mandatory. Of course, you can also stay the whole semester. So this is also possible. In the fourth semester, so you have this one course at least. In the fourth semester, you also write your master thesis and you have your diploma examination. So there are different modules in the program. So we are not on course level at the moment. I will show in the next slide the different courses. But here you see the modules. So in the first semester, we have fundamentals in quantitative methods and finance. We have financial econometrics, derivative pricing. So this is covered in the first semester. In the second semester, when you have the fundamentals, we go more in the direction of the program. So you learn how to measure risk. You have lectures in asset management, and we already start with research methods to prepare you for the writing of your master thesis. So this is the second semester. And in the third semester, which is the application-oriented semester, you have asset and liability management and risk management for banks. And you also have ALM and risk management for insurers and pension funds. And you have a module called applied asset management. And in the fourth semester, so this is the short-term mobility, we have one module, one course, and we call that applied research in asset and risk management. Okay, these are the modules. I'd like to open this Excel sheet to show you the different courses just very briefly. So I will not go into detail because this is too much for an introduction. As I mentioned already, I mentioned the modules. They are here on the left-hand side. Here you have the different semesters. So maybe it's interesting for you to start with the first semester, and you have one module called Quantitative Methods. And what's in, so you have one course, it's called Fundamentals of Mathematics and Statistics. You have programming and databases. You have multivariate methods. You have time series analysis. And what's also in the first semester, you have fundamentals of finance, fundamentals of economics, and you have derivative pricing. So here you have two courses. Yeah, so this would be the schedule for the first semester. Yeah, this is also something I'd like to share with you, the type of courses we are offering. So if you may be coming from a university, so maybe it's different there, but we are so-called University of Applied Sciences. And most of our courses are offered as so-called integrated classes. So they consist of a lecture part and where you should get some theoretical knowledge, and there is a practical part where you can apply what you have learned. And so this also means that at the end of the course you have a final examination. So this counts for 70% of the grade, but during the class there is some continuous assessment. So this can be, I don't know, a presentation, can be an homework, can be a small quiz, and for this you also can score 30%. So it's important maybe to mention that you participate in the classes, because if you're eager, then you already have 30% or 30 points, and for the written final examination, it's then much easier to be successful in this course. Yeah, we have, so almost all our courses in the program are integrated classes. We have one course in the second semester. This is a seminar, and we have one practice class also in the second semester, but just one seminar, one practical class. So I think at the moment, important to remember integrated classes, 70% for final examination and 30% for continuous assessment. Yeah, this would be your weekly hours in the first semester. So I introduced to you already the courses. Here you would see how much time you would need to spend in class. So this means this is really participation, where you are really get to talk with the lecturer, with the teacher. So in the first semester, you would have per week 14.5 hours to spend at our university. On the very right-hand side, you see also the ECTS. You can get in total 30 ECTS. Yeah, lecturers. So yes, we are so-called, as I mentioned already, a University of Applied Sciences. That means we have lecturers from the practice, but we also have lecturers, especially in the first semester, where you get to learn to know the fundamentals. Lecturers from universities and the scientific field. We have lecturers from Austrian banks and insurance companies. We have lecturers from the Austrian regulator, from the Austrian National Bank and the Financial Market Authority. And we have lecturers from asset management companies. So I would say it's quite nice mixture. So on the one hand side, you have teachers from universities and the scientific field, and on the other hand side, you have lecturers from the practice. We also have some, let's say, alliances and partnerships, and this I'd like to mention on this slide here. So we have our program has the so-called PRM certificate. Maybe you have heard about Premier. So Premier stands for Professional Risk Managers International Organization. It's a risk management accreditation, and once you're an ARIMA alumni, you will be eligible for exemption from PRM examination 1 and 2. So there are 4 examinations. And if you have finished the ARIMA program, you do not have to do the examination 1 and 2. You immediately go to the examination 3. And if you are successful with 3 and 4, you can then use the PRM after your name. Then we have also a partnership with CFA. So CFA stands for Chartered Financial Analyst. So PRM is more risk management side, and CFA more on the asset management side. So each year we are giving some very, very good master thesis to the CFA Austria Prize, and we are very successful. Not we, actually our students, our graduates are very successful. So they won several times the CFA Austria Prize. So if you're first, second, or third, you then get a scholarship, and you can also do this CFA certification. And we also have the SAS joint certificate. So we have also, and SAS is a statistical program. So if you don't know, you will use it in the ARIMA program. And graduates of the master program in ARIMA, they are now also get awarded the SAS joint certificate. So SAS is very well known and very often used in the banking industry. Yeah. Research. So I think this is my slide, and then I hand over back to Veronica. We are not only teaching, we are doing also research, and our research focus is financial market development and regulation. So I have here on my slide some research examples. So we have done in the past. So regulatory reporting for banks and insurers, I've here on the slide. We did a project with a Polish university about systemic and systematic risk in liquidity risk management. We had a project with the University of Maribor about stress testing in the finance industry. And we had one small project with an industry partner about fund data and regulatory reporting for pension funds. Yeah, okay. I think another Paul is coming, and I'm handing over to Veronica.
Okay, so I see that most of you are planning to work. This is an important information for me, as I'm going to start talking about the administrative and organizational details of the program now, because for those of you that are working, the topic time requirements is usually very, very important. So I will give you some details about that. just a small reminder, if there's anything we are not covering during the presentation, if you have got any questions, then please make sure to put them into the chat. We will be collecting them and we will be answering them at the end of the Q&A session. So once a question comes into your mind, don't hesitate, just put it into the chat. As Silvia Helmreich already mentioned, we are a part-time program. We sometimes refer to it also as career parallel program, because part-time sometimes gives the idea that you do not actually cover or have to do 30 ECTS per semester. This is not the case. As in a full-time program, in the ARIMA program, you have to do 30 ECTS per semester. We are just trying to organize the program in a way that allows you to work parallel to studying. So in regards of term dates, we have a 2-term structure. So in case you are applying and are admitted to the program, you would start studying in September. The winter term ends in February. You then have a semester break of 1 week, and then the summer term starts in February and ends in June. So your summer break is 2 months, unlike at the traditional Austrian universities, for example, where you have a 3 months summer break. But as you are studying career parallel, we somehow have to fit in the tight schedule into the evenings and weekends. And so we need more weeks during one semester. I've also mentioned the holidays on the slides, so just to give you a short overview and idea whether the time requirements of the program would fit into your work schedule or the other way around. Also, the course hours are, of course, organized career parallel. So the courses of the program, of the ARIMA program, for everyone who just entered or just came a bit late to our information session, ARIMA is the abbreviation for the master program Quantitative Asset and Risk Management. So you're not in the wrong session if you're talking about the ARIMA program. We are talking about the Quantitative Asset and Risk Management program. So if you are starting in the program, you will have courses on 3 evenings and on Saturdays. Courses from Monday to Thursday start at 6 p.m. and on Friday we start at 4:20, and on Saturday you would have courses the whole day. Just what is important to know for you, I think, is the workload, and I'm not talking about the attendance here, but about the complete workload that you have to do, because it's not only attending classes, it's also about doing homework, preparing for exams. So the average study workload amounts to 30 to 40 hours per week. Of course, this can depend immensely if you have a lot of prior knowledge. But this is just to let you know that if you are planning to work full-time and studying in this program, it's going to be tough. So what we recommend is, if you have the chance, if you can do that and reduce your hours, then we would definitely recommend doing so. We would definitely recommend working part-time and not full-time. But you do not have to. We have a lot of students that manage working full-time and studying in our program. It's just it's just very tough, a lot more stressful than it would be if you have the possibility to reduce hours. Silvia Helmreich also mentioned that we are University of Applied Sciences. That means that our study regime is a bit more strict that you might have encountered it during your prior studies at the university. For example, attendance is compulsory in all our courses. You have to meet attendance requirements of 70% at each course and of a minimum of 50% over all courses during one semester. You also receive a set class schedule for each semester. So you cannot choose which courses or how many courses you would like to take at the semester. You will receive a set class schedule, so we will tell you which courses you have to do, and we will also tell you when you have to come to class. So there's not that much flexibility as you are maybe used to if you are coming from a let's say, traditional university. The advantage of this quite strict study regime is that the majority of our students finishes the degree within the 4 semesters of minimum duration of studies. So if you're sticking to the plan, we will make sure that you will get through the program within 4 semesters. Another advantage or another positive aspect about studying at the University of Applied Sciences, next to many others, but one thing that I think is worth mentioning is that we definitely are committed to provide a small group setting. So in our master program, we are only admitting 27 students every year. So this is already a quite small group. So this can be very beneficial during your studies, and also within some courses where we think that even 27 is too big to get the most out of a class, we will split this group into smaller groups again. Like for example, in programming in databases, the cohort of 27 will be split into 2 smaller groups to make sure that everyone can achieve the best learning results. Another important topic is tuition fees. You will have to pay 363.36 euros per semester. This is the tuition fee. And then all Austrian students are members of the Austrian Student Union. And for this membership, you have to pay 20 euro and 20 cents. So these two, this is what you have to pay every semester at the beginning of every semester. All students have to pay these tuition fees. So regardless whether you are an Austrian student, an EU student, a non-EU student, whether you are within the minimum duration of studies or not, everyone has to pay these tuition fees per semester. Important is also that our university does not provide scholarship. I know that internationally it's quite common that universities provide scholarships. We do not. So we expect our students to have sufficient funding to actually cover tuition fees and cover the living costs. We do not provide any scholarships.